G'day guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to episode number 4 of the East Germany Challenge, Dynamo Dresden to win the Bundesliga and maybe something in Europe as well. Who knows? So let's go straight into it. So at the end of episode 3, I alluded to the fact that we have about 15 million in the bank. The board gave us a little bit of money after we just about survived our third season and our first season in the Bundesliga. So we have been shopping. Financially wise, still got about 40 million in the bank. No transfer budget left. There's been some movement going on a little bit here and there. If we have a look, so if I do this in date order, a couple of January sales went out, which obviously helped our bank balance a little bit. And in the previous video, I alluded to the fact that Wrights and Duarte entered the squad. So we sold another 1.9 million. A lot of free transfers left. A lot of contracts ran out. Did make a little bit of money on Nicholas Houtman. Dave Nassi is gone as well as Marvin Schultz, and just a few other bit players gone. But that did mean we managed to spend 17.25 million, which isn't too bad at all. So a couple of free transfers to start off with. Alexandro Binabi, not a player I've ever heard of, but a really, really good, solid left back. Consistent, enjoys the big matches, can play in both those wing back positions. Aggressive, good work rate, and good natural fitness. Exactly what I'm looking for. 26 years old, so he's coming into his prime. Hopefully, he could do us a job. Then Jeff Fay. 18-year-old Irish regen. From, where did I come from? Wealdstone, over in the UK. That's a bit strange, but again, he was on a free transfer. He was actually on the next gen list, I believe. Is that in his milestones? I can't remember. I don't think it will be, but he was on the next gen list. And I thought, you know what, we'll take a punt. Why not? It's a risk, but it's a low risk because it's a free transfer. Great tackling, great teamwork, great bravery, 5-star potential ability, so who knows? He may actually work out. But then I started to spend a little bit of money and I wanted to bulk out the first team options. Now it's about bringing in players who are going to improve the first team more than anything else. Jonathan Asp Jensen from the second Bayern Munich team. 5-star potential ability, great central midfielder, good flair, dribbling, first touch. I've bought this player a couple of times and he is actually pretty decent if you use him right. Very consistent as well, a lot of pros in the training report. Very, very happy with this signing. For $1 million, it's great. It's a bargain. Then I wanted to get a striker who could actually score some goals, so I brought in Cowie from Bayer Leverkusen, 24-year-old Brazilian striker, good acceleration, good pace, 14s and 15s there, dribbling, finishing and first touch, 13s and 12s, I think could become a decent player. He's very consistent but just doesn't enjoy the big matches, but he does have 3 goals in 3 games for us already, so I'd say that is a good start. I think I'm very happy with that. Then I wanted to get a better goalkeeper. And Leipzig had Martin van der Voort on the transfer list. And I thought, you know what? Why not? All round, a very, very, very good goalkeeper for this level. Extremely consistent. Likes the big matches as well. What more could be said? And he's still got a lot of room to grow with it as well. Great aerial reach and one-on-ones. Good throwing. Good reflexes. We can build on that, definitely. Then Florian Kleinhansel from Kaiserslautern for 2.8 million is another left back who I actually think is probably going to be our starting left back, and it looks that way as well. He's started 3 games, not the best average rating, but he does have really good corners, crossing, tackling as well. Physicals wise is what he lacks a little bit, but overall I think he's a decent buy for that price. And then finally Lubio Puljic, again from Bayern Munich, but 8.5 million. This is a big one, but he's a young centre-back. And if I remember rightly, he's got a minimum fee release clause for Champions League clubs for 20 million almost. So I could end up over doubling the money if he did get bought out. But at 20 years old, incredible amount of growth, very consistent. I think this one could be one of the buys of the season. And it looks that way as well. He's got 2 goals already from centre-back and an average rating of 7.2, so I can't really fault that. So let's have a little look. I did say in the previous video that I was going to have a look at the tactics because I don't think that 4 treble 2 narrow formation was working in the Bundesliga. Well, I've tweaked it slightly because if I wanted to go out and get wingers, it would have meant I'd have to spend pretty much all my money buying 3-4 wingers in. And I didn't particularly want to do that, so I wanted to try and adapt a formation that's going to be a little bit more solid, but more suited, should I say, to the players I've actually already got in my squad. So, this is what I've gone for. A 4-4-2 narrow diamond with a ball-winning midfielder, a DLP and a CM. I've actually put Aspiensen in the DLP role because I want him to get as much game time as possible. With a shallow striker, pressing forward and advance forward. The shadow striker role, I could end up adjusting towards the end of the season. We'll see. And also Puljic, starting left-sided centre-back. He's going to get all the game time that I possibly can give him as well this season. So, yeah, not too bad. And as for the start of the season, well, hit and miss. Heimstetten, first round of the Pokal, 5-1 win, not bad. Freiburg, 3-2, first league win of the season. And I thought, you know what, actually, we may be onto something. And then we got beat by Leipzig. That was a little bit annoying. And then we drew 3-3 against Augsburg, so we're 1-1-1 in our first 3 fixtures, which isn't too bad for a second season in the Bundesliga. So I'm going to go and roll the highlights, and let's go and find out what happens in this season, shall we? I'll see you guys in a few seconds. With the continued success and stability of the club, they now want a new stadium, so the pressure is on. But consistency in the league was an issue. We beat Freiburg 3-2, but only lost 1-0 to St. Pauli. Beating Dortmund 3-0, but losing 2-0 to Hertha Berlin. Beating Wolfsburg 2-1, but losing 1-0 to Hanover. These are just some of the examples of how our league form has yo-yoed all season. But in the end, we only finished 4 points outside the European spot as we fit safely into 9th place. In the Pokal, however, we had a fantastic run again. Beating Heimstetten 5-1, Schalke 1-0, and Bochum on penalties, we faced Darmstadt in the quarterfinals. And in frankly a bonkers game, we emerged victorious thanks to an extra time winner by Cowie to face Stuttgart in the semi-finals. And in a complete polar opposite to the previous game, we snuck past in a 4th minute winner 1-0 to progress to our first ever Pokal final since the reunification of the league. But we faced Dortmund. And sadly, they were just too strong, as they utterly dominated the match and won the game 2-0, and we lose the final. Well, that was a surprising turn of events, I do believe. I am actually really happy with that. I didn't expect us to finish 9th this season for a starter, which again is a really good result. If we actually have a look at our past positions, we just made steady progress. In fact, I can't do it because I cocked up the save and now I can't look at the previous season. This is already rolled into the next save game, unfortunately. But we can still look at the league here. 46 points, so we ended up 17 points ahead of the relegation zone, and it was Freiburg that went down, more surprisingly. Mainz and Berlin were close to it again, but in the end, it was pretty comfortable, to say the least. But the biggest turn of events was the Pokal. If we have a look at the schedule, that was a fantastic run. A real thing. Yeah, we got a bit of luck. We had to get through on penalties against Bochum, an extra time against Darmstadt. But overall, I can't fault the performance. It was just the performance in the final itself. And if I go and have another look at the final report, Dortmund battered us. They absolutely battered us. Their XG was off the charts. Their shots on target, they were just running us ragged around the pitch. And it goes to show you, look at the average ratings from our players, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. They just were nowhere near good enough on the day. I don't know whether it was the nerves or what, but I don't know. But we ended up losing the Pokal, but I didn't expect to get to the final in the first place, so that was a nice little bonus, to say the least, as we roll into season number 5. And as you can see already, because I cocked up a save, I am already in season 5 mode. I'm working my way towards it, but I'm not going to give anything away yet. That is for the next video. So there we have it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with this content and much more. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. Ta-ra.